Are you applying to become a 911 dispatcher? Then you've probably heard of the CritiCall 911 dispatcher exam. In this video, we will explain what you need to know before you take this test and how to pass with good scores. Stick around until the end for a free practice test link. It contains a lot of practice questions and generates a scorecard for you to review your performance. You can also see where you made mistakes. The CritiCall 911 dispatcher exam is all about making sure you've got what it takes to handle the high-pressure demands of being a dispatcher. It's designed to test the skills you'll use every day on the job, like multitasking, making quick decisions, remembering key details, and even reading maps. It's not just about what you know, but how well you can think on your feet when it really counts. Now, let's break it down and go over each topic one by one, starting with multitasking. This is one of the toughest parts of the test. You'll need to make quick, accurate decisions while juggling multiple tasks. They'll toss an emergency situation at you right in the middle of something else, like typing, to really push your multitasking skills. The next important part of the CritiCall test is data entry. Here, you'll get typing tasks. There can be sections where you need to enter information from looking at ID cards. Type what you see. You may also get pre-recorded audio files and then type what you hear into the correct fields on your screen. So you see, it's not simple data entry, they are testing you from all angles. Next up in the CritiCall test is call summarization. In the call summarization section, you'll be tested on how well you can focus on what's being asked. You'll listen to pre-recorded calls and then answer questions, either in multiple choice format or by filling in the blanks. For reading comprehension, you'll need to quickly grasp and note down details from short paragraphs. The main difference between the two is that in call summarization, you're working with audio, while in reading comprehension, you're dealing with text. Both test how well you understand information on the spot. Now, let's move on to the next question type in the CritiCall exam. Map reading and directions. This section is all about finding directions and locations. You'll get a dummy map with multiple choice questions based on it. Let's walk you through an example. Here's a map, and the question below asks, which way does Wilson Lane extend from its intersection with Wafer Street? So, this is a direction-based question. First, let's find Wilson Lane. Here it is. Now, let's locate Wafer Street. There, we found it. At their intersection, the question says which direction Wilson Lane extends. Using this compass provided at the top, we can see it extends in the west direction. So, the correct answer for this is the last option. You'll get similar questions with different maps, and while this example is pretty simple, the map questions can be very complicated. The next question type is memory recall, both long and short term. For the short-term memory test, they'll check if you can recall information that was just shown to you. But the long-term memory test is where it really gets tricky. They'll present a situation, then ask about it later after you've gone through other types of questions. Here's an example of a short-term memory question. You're given some details. Caller name, Alexandra Reed, located at Maplewood Lane, Suburbia, and pet description. A small white rabbit named Snowball with a black spot on its left ear. Next, there is another piece of information displayed. The caller's name is Mary Johnson. Location, 109 Maple Street, Springville. Issue, burst water pipe in the basement. Now, the question here is, what issue is Mary Johnson reporting? With 4 options. Definitely, the answer is bust water pipe. This is what a short-term memory recall question would look like, because the question directly follows the situation you just read. But in the long-term memory test, you might be asked about the pet rabbit's details after you've answered a bunch of other questions. It sounds tough, and trust me, it is. All right, now let's talk about frequency of information and probability determination. In this section, they aim to test your ability to use patterns and probabilities to make informed decisions. Frequency of information type of questions are meant to test your ability to sift through multiple statements and determine which one is the most accurate. For example, you might get several witness statements about an escape vehicle, and you'll be asked, Which is the most likely description of the vehicle? You need to carefully look at the provided statements and decide which witness is the most reliable. In this example here, since most witnesses mention a red sedan, the first option is probably our best pick. Probability determination questions, on the other hand, are about assessing the most likely outcome based on the information provided. For example, you are asked, which area should the dispatcher prioritize for a loud party complaint? You're given some information here. Now, since most of them are from downtown, where there's a high probability they're related to loud parties. So the downtown area is our correct choice. You see, these questions aren't straightforward. A lot of thinking and calculations are involved. Next, let's take a quick look at cross-referencing in CritiCall Test. This part of the test is all about how well you can match and verify information. Getting the details right is critical because even a small mistake can have big consequences in an emergency. For example, this is the information in a table format displayed on your screen, and you are asked, whose VIN number ends with 765432? You'd need to scan the VIN numbers in a table, focusing on the last digits. In this case, you'd see that the correct answer is Sean O'Reilly, because his VIN number ends with 765432. Remember, the information or questions might come in different formats. Sometimes it's on your screen, and other times it could be in audio form. Either way, you'll need to make sure everything lines up perfectly. Likewise, the 911 CritiCall exam features a variety of question types, like numerical ability, where you quickly calculate in real scenarios, such as figuring out the distance between emergencies after rerouting vehicles. It's not just simple math, it's about quick, situational thinking. You'll also face character comparison, where you must identify the exact replica of written information, like an address, among similar options. There's also spelling, which tests your ability to correctly spell words under pressure, and vocalization, where you record your answers using a microphone, testing your clarity and accuracy in communication. And that's it for this quick introduction to the CritiCall test. We've tried to cover everything you can expect on the test. Remember, preparing for this test is super important because it covers so many areas, from multitasking to map reading. The more you practice, the more confident you'll feel on test day. We've dropped a link to free practice tests in the description, so be sure to check it out. Thanks for watching, and good luck!